I want to talk about something that's a little bit off the beaten path here. There has been a massive rise in the self-proclaimed guru space where everyone has the answers to all of your problems. And before we go any further, I just want to be clear. I have never called myself a guru. I never would. I'm just a person like you, and I like to help people, and I like to talk into a camera to help more people than I could help if I had to talk exclusively to you guys one-on-one. Doesn't give me guru status. So just know that anyone who self-proclaims, you should be careful about listening to them. But when you do choose to listen to them, you'll notice something really weird about these people. They never talk about accounting. Why do gurus not talk about accounting? And so what you should think about is if someone doesn't like accounting, doesn't like accountants, talks poorly about accountants, what should your reaction to that be? And I'll let you know. It should set alarm bells off in your head. And it should set alarm bells off because people who don't like accounting tend to be associated with fraud. Okay? Because how do you know the difference between what is real and true in business in a world where it's easy to flip on a camera and say whatever you want and have nothing to back it up and get all these people to believe you because you might be charismatic, you might have a fancy Bugatti in the background, you might have all these things that say, I am someone to be trustworthy, give me your money for this pre-made course from 10 years ago, and you will have Bugatti, right? Like, those are the people that you should be extremely cautious of. Like, you should be extreme because it's so easy to fake everything. It's so easy. You can tell if someone is intentionally faking things based on how they treat accounting and how they ignore the topic of it. And honestly, even their depth of the topic. If they can't go beyond a very surface level understanding of accounting, guess what that tells you? That they've never once taken it seriously. And sure, don't get me wrong, there are people who trust their accountants and don't necessarily know a ton about it, but they would never talk bad about them. They would never doubt their integrity. They would never try and dictate to the accountant how to do their job. So there was a fantastic Twitter thread earlier today that I saw that I think perfectly encapsulates this, okay? You have, I believe his name is Craig Ferguson. That might be an actor, but Craig something or other, CPA tax team. Great guy on Twitter. Go follow him. He's awesome. He has more experience than all of the anon gurus who apparently know more about why being an LLC gives you all these tremendous tax savings advantages. He knows way more about it than I do, to be perfectly frank. But I know that I'm not dumb enough to challenge him on the topic and pretend like I know more than that guy does. And he's beautifully articulating and breaking down why all of these gurus, anons, these fake people, they're not fake people, these people who are afraid to associate their face with their opinions, who refuse to do so, they think that they know more about this topic than he does. The what is it, hubris? The sheer just like ignorance of that is mind-blowing to me. Now, of course, you don't just necessarily trust someone because they have a CPA designation in front of them, but if they have a CPA designation and they are simultaneously polite and pointing out all the many ways in which this is untrue, you should probably trust them more than the anonymous guru on Twitter. Just call me crazy. So again, the nice thing about numbers, and again, authentic numbers, audited numbers, backed by credentialed professional numbers, like the nice thing about those things is that you can't make them up. You can't fake that. So in a world in which so much is fake, in a world in which it's so easy to claim a status that you didn't even work for and can't verifiably prove, or it gives accountants the right, the power to validate who's legit from who's not. And so a filter for who's legit and who's not is very simply who has strong accounting principles, talks about them, is willing to listen to their accountant, is willing to learn from their accountant, and then share some of those principles back to their audience. And I want to segue into everyone who pays attention to me, my channel, whatever. It's no secret that I'm a fan of Hormozi, and a lot of people will hoist him up to guru status. But one of the things that I think is fascinating about Hormozi is his ability to break down numbers and use numbers to validate and prove various things. The other thing is he's the type of guy that learns from every expert source he can get that is willing to speak to him. And so even when you watch his videos specifically about tax saving strategies, when you hear him talk about taxes, when you hear him talk about cash flow, when you hear him talk about EBITDA, the formulas related to accounting, you know he knows what he's talking about. You know it. It's like, it's obvious. And then compare the way he talks about that topic to the other people who don't ever talk about that topic. And you automatically have someone who has earned a higher degree of respect because he's able to, quite frankly, speak and learn a language associated with business. I know it's the old saying, right? Accounting is the language of business, but gurus can't speak the language. They can't. They don't even know how to say bonjour in accounting. They don't even know the first word. And we're supposed to trust these people? Come on now. Come on now. It's a filter from which you can gauge the quality of an expert who's trying to educate you. And if they can't talk about it at all, or they lack respect in it, you shouldn't listen to them. So why don't they talk about it? It's because they don't know anything about it. It's because they can't speak the language about it, or because they're actively trying to hide things from you. And they know that if this is something that is important and shows the truth of it, they're going to want to hide that as well. So that's why online gurus never talk about accounting. And if you know that you should be working with quality accountants, if you are looking for people who are just awesome at what they do, can educate you, can also run those beautiful cash flow systems for you, make sure your taxes are nice and low, reach out. I got a network of the best, creme de la creme of accountants out there. And they're looking for some of their dream clients, and you may be one of them. So if you are not a guru, you're a hardworking business owner, and you're looking to keep more of your your cash in your pocket that you work so hard for, reach out, say hello, and I can introduce you to some fantastic people. My name is Tyler S. Clark. Thank you so much for your most precious resource. Remember that only you can create your dream firm, but we are here to help you every single step of the way. Have a fantastic rest of your workday. And remember, gurus don't like accounting because, quite frankly, they're frauds.